Okay, so like we had just discussed, this is a chart of an astrologer. Okay. Um, so the 10th house is the house of profession. Keep in mind. Okay. Just to give you guys a reminder, the 8th house was the house of suffering and was also the house of pain, but it's also the house of the occult. Okay. Pam, are you able to make sense out of why, um, how we can see the connection between the 10th house and this person being an astrologer?
Mm,
Okay, so I'll give you a hint. Okay, see if you can catch it, and everyone else, see if you guys can catch it too. The 10th house was the house of career, right?
yes.
Okay. If the 10th house is the house of career, and do you remember which house was the house of the occult?
You just said the eighth house?
Correct. The 8th house represents the occult, and astrology is also a form of occult, right? Can you see any planets with the help of aspects? With the help of aspects, are you able to make a connection um, between the 10th and the 8th house?
Mm,
Is Monica able to help us out? I don't even know if Monica can hear me.
Hi, I can. It's a little advanced today with a lot of planets in, so I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure it
it's
out.
fine. It's fine. Okay, that's fine. So I'll make it a little simpler. I wanted to make it a little complicated because when you look at an actual birth chart, you will see all the planets, okay? So forget about everything else and focus on Jupiter, okay? Do you guys remember what Jupiter represents? Jupiter represents Jupiter represents any sort of a teacher or a guide, okay? For Michelle and Alethea, this is Jupiter right here. This guy's
okay.
Jupiter right here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Pam and Monica are probably gonna remember that Jupiter, basically. So Michelle and Alethea, we're trying to see how Jupiter, which is sitting right here, is going to make a connection with the 8th house and the 10th house. Okay. 8th house. This is the 8th house of the occult, and this is the 10th house of career. Okay.
Okay, so is it because Jupiter's aspects are 5, 7, and 9, and then 9 would go in the 10th house?
Correct. Correct. Are you able to follow? Are you able to follow Monica?
Yes.
So this basically, and it's gonna get a little. Um, I'll explain it a little more. Okay, so yes, Pam is right. Jupiter is sitting in the second house. Okay, so this person is able to make a living as in money. Second house,
Mm,
as we had discussed, was the house of
mm,
money. This is the house of money.
mm,
Okay, Jupiter is placed in the second house. So we can definitely say that this person is going to make money or a living with these three planets, okay, because they are sitting in the second house. But if we want to focus specifically on why this person was able to become an astrologer professionally and was able to make good money um, from astrology is seen from this main planet right here, Jupiter. So for those, for Michelle and Alethea, Jupiter, wherever it sits, it's going to aspect or look at the 5th and the 9th house from its placement. If this is the placement of where it's sitting, you're going to count 5 houses, 7 houses, and 9 houses to see what houses are being affected by this planet. So if you count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's the house of services. Okay. And then it's aspecting the eighth house with its seventh aspect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it's aspecting the 10th house from the second house. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. This person is an astrologer, a professional astrologer. Now, Pam and Monica, do you guys remember conjunctions?
Um,
So I'll make it a little simpler
Yes.
here, okay? Focus on the planets that Jupiter is sitting with, right? Is it sitting with Mercury?
Mercury and Ketu.
Yeah, Mercury and Ketu exactly. So what houses does Mercury own here?
Mercury owns
Does Mercury own this house right here?
Mercury owns house 7.
Second house.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
No,
7.
so Mercury owns 2 signs. Mercury owns Gemini, and it owns the sixth sign of Virgo. Okay. So it is very simple here. It's very simple to see that this person is able to do eighth house related profession. Okay, because Jupiter is already making connection with the eighth house and the 10th house. But
What
this
did you say? Mercury owns what? Gemini and Virgo?
correct.
Okay.
Yes. And for Michelle and Alefia, just send me an email and I will send you guys the slide that will tell you what houses are owned by what planets. It's very important for you guys to memorize it. Okay. So let's go a little deeper into this fact over here. Okay. Let's go a little deeper into this because this person is able to become an astrologer, okay, and he did become an astrologer, a professional astrologer. Jupiter is able to tell us that this person is able to make a living through eighth house related activities, which is astrology, because it's making connection with the eighth house and the ninth house. But what exactly tells me? Okay, so think about it. What tells me that this person's able to guide people? Okay, I'm seeing 2 signs. Okay, there's 2 signs that I'm seeing that tells me that this person is able to guide other people and make a profession out of it. Okay, so first of all, Jupiter itself is the significator of guidance because Jupiter represents teachers, mentors, and guides. Okay, so just by not even looking at Ketu and Mercury, if you just looked at Jupiter alone, you can make out that this person is able to make money, a living through the eighth house activities and make a profession out of it because it's also an aspect in the 10th house. But what makes it an even clearer picture that this person can guide people? Okay, now focus on the ninth house. Jupiter is sitting with the ninth lord. When we just went through the houses, did we see that the ninth house is the house of guiding and teachers and mentors,
Yes.
Yes.
right? So this makes your picture a little clearer because we had someone ask this question the other day that how do we get a clearer picture as to what this person can exactly do? I mean, Jupiter sitting in the second house, aspecting eighth and 10th. This person could also be a banker because and I'll tell you why this person could also become a banker. He could have if we didn't really have Mercury and Ketu sitting here. Jupiter is sitting in the second house of money. Okay, so this guy's able to make money. Second house itself also shows banks because it's the house of wealth. Okay, and it's aspecting the eighth house. And we had seen when we went through houses that the eighth house also represents other people's money. Okay, the seventh house is the other people, the eighth house is the other people's money. So this guy could also have become a banker professionally. But how are we gonna say that he's actually gonna be better off doing astrology than banking? If you look at the two planets that Jupiter is sitting with, Mercury itself represents, it actually represents communication, but also represents calculations. And astrology does involve, once you get into advanced astrology, it does involve a lot of calculations. But Mercury in this case also owns the ninth house of guidance. Okay. So this tells me that this person is able to do guidance related work as a profession because Mercury represents, or it owns the ninth house of guidance. But there's another thing that tells me that this person is going to be better off becoming an astrologer. Look at the third planet that's sitting with Jupiter. This guy right here.
Ketu.
Exactly. And as we had discussed in the last class or the class before, Ketu represents the occult and astrology and spiritual activities, right? So if you take all of this into account, when you work with conjunctions, you're able to make out what this person's able to do exactly. Okay? Now, here's another interesting information about why this person would be better off doing eighth house related work. Okay, this is a little advanced. We haven't really gotten into this yet, but see what kind of sign these planets are sitting in.
The eighth sign, which
These
is
planets are
Scorpio.
perfect. So you can see that all these planets making connection with the 10th house through Jupiter are sitting in the sign of Scorpio. Okay? And if you think about it, what's Scorpio's original house? It is the 8th house, was the original house. I'm just going a little more into detail than we have so far, but even if you don't look at the sign, 8th sign or Scorpio is a very strong sign of the occult knowledge. This person it's a very clear indication. When a planet is making connection with the 10th house and the 8th house, not only that, it's also sitting at the 8th sign. It's a very clear indication that this person can make money from astrology and do it as a profession. Right? Any questions up until this point? Pam and Monica, was it clear as mud for you guys?
Kind of. It's a little advanced, to be honest.
It's
Just
a little,
digesting.
yeah, no, I get it, I get it. So even if again, even if you didn't focus on the sign of Scorpio, okay, so you do not focus on the sign of Scorpio, just focus on Jupiter. Monica, are you able to understand how Jupiter is linking with the 10th house and the 8th house?
Yep. By aspect, I totally get it. With the part where this person is great in astrology teaching because of the conjunction of Mercury, Jupiter, and Ketu. I understand about the eighth house sorry, the eighth sign sitting in the second house and reflecting. I get all of that.
Mhm. So you
Mm,
basically pretty much got everything that I was talking about then.
yeah.
It's see the thing is the chart's gonna give you hints. Every little piece is gonna give you a hint, right? Now can this now here okay, now here's a bit of an advanced, not too advanced, but can this person do astrology as a business? Profession, yes, but I want to
Um,
see whether you can see a connection, and this is going to involve a little bit of knowledge of the second class that we did, second last or the last class of exchanges. Okay, I want to see if this person is able to do astrology as a business. First of all, which house was the house of business?
the
The
10th
seventh house.
house.
No, 10th house was the house of profession, and the sixth
Yeah, the
house
Oh,
was the
seventh
house.
house. Oh,
Perfect.
sorry. Yeah, the seventh house.
The seventh house was the house of
of
business.
business. And
Correct.
then the 6th house is the house of a job.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now this is it's going to be a little. Let's see if you guys remember. Do you guys remember exchange?
Exchange.
Exchange. Remember we did exchange in our last class, or was it the second last class? Think about
Oh, the across, the thing across.
the invisible planets. Is it Monica?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Monica. Okay. Okay.
Is
So
exchange the relationship between two planets?
yep, it's a form of relationship between two planets.
Then what's the difference between exchange and conjunction? Because I have conjunctions more than one planet.
Yep. So a conjunction is basically what you're seeing here. In the second house, you're seeing a conjunction of three planets.
Yeah.
It just means they're all sitting together,
Uh-huh.
midway, and they are sharing their qualities with each other.
Uh-huh. Which
When
is
I,
the
s-
exchange?
when I say they're exchanging their qualities with each other, okay, okay, let's do it this way. It'll probably be a little easier to understand. Um, do you see? Do you guys see
Yeah, I see the
this
birth
chart?
chart.
Okay. So let's turn it into the same chart, but just to minimize the confusion, we're going to Jupiter was in the second house, Mercury and Ketu were in the second house. Okay? Okay. So far, we're able to see that Mercury and Jupiter and Ketu are sitting in the second house, and through. So when we're looking at a conjunction, back to the conjunction part, okay? Right now, if you look at Mercury, okay, right now when you look at Mercury, okay, it is pure Mercury. It is not pure Mercury, it is a Scorpion Mercury, okay? You will never see a planet unaffected, completely unaffected, even if it's sitting on its own and not aspected by any other planet. It is taking the flavor of the sign that it's sitting in at the very least. Okay.
Okay.
Right now we're looking at a Scorpion Mercury. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This tells me a certain quality, certain traits about this person. That he's a Mercury, Scorpio Mercury. Okay. You're always gonna find the planet in some sort of a sign. You're never gonna find a planet not sitting in a sign. So therefore you'll never find a planet that is not influenced by at least another sign. So So right now we're dealing with Scorpio Mercury. So since we're talking about conjunctions, this is no longer a Mercury anymore. It's now a Jupiterian Mercury that is Scorpio in nature. Okay?